All right, you guys, we're going to take a look at the work that has been submitted, and also I was going to address the trim sheets question that we got in the lecture topics. So just to remind you, in Google Drive, we have a lecture topics request document. So far there was only one request for trim sheets, just kind of an explanation of what they are. And I can do a tutorial about how to put them together, but I found a video in which a guy does industry standard current practices to make trim sheets. My information's a little bit older fashioned, but it's all the same stuff. So I put those two links in Discord. I also put them in our link sharing document. So if I ever have like tutorials and stuff, I'll put them in the right category. So this would be 3D art. And so down here I've got trim sheets and these two videos that I'm showing you right up here. This one, first one, is an explanation of what they are. Essentially, they are just a big sheet of different kinds of textures, all intended to go into one object or one kind of object. So if I find a place where they're showing this wall, so this wall is their example, it's got bricks, it's got concrete trim, and it's got that fancier pattern of concrete as well as a window. Those are not the same thing, but they all belong on the same surface, i.e. the exterior of a building. The reason that they do it that way is so that you don't have to have 1, 2, 3, 4 different materials, and also so that if you want to give variations of the surface of a building, all of the different parts will fit in the right place on the model, and you can just change one part or two parts or all three parts in order to have a different looking building very quickly. So here's their example of putting all of this together in Substance. And they were talking about the difference between a single bespoke piece like this and a game world in which lots of duplication occurs. So there's their building. Now it's got 2 stories, but they're even doing clever things like repurposing parts of the trim sheet in different areas, such as this concrete trim here being reused on the windowsills, the windows being reused on the curving part and the flat part, and then this decorative element being reused on different panels at different sizes so that you can get a lot of variation with very little texturing. So that's basically the point of trim sheets. It's sort of like making a big combination of several different types of materials all in one single material so that you're able to kind of compress that information and reuse it a lot. Yeah. So that was pretty cool. And then this guy goes through a 4-part process of showing how to create these. He's using 3D Studio Max and ZBrush. So he makes a base mesh, sculpts it all out, and then bakes all that stuff step by step. The very last one, which I think is this one, he applies the trim sheet that he makes to a different shaped object. So kind of like these, where you can see the pattern back there and the pattern over here with minor adjustments and the pattern on the ground. It's all the same thing, but he's using that trim sheet texture that he baked to apply to lots and lots of different stuff in a appropriate way. So those are pretty cool. All right. As for our stuff, I'm looking at the project schedule document, and this is the week that we're in. We're right at the end of this week, so we should have everything turned in that people promised, but we don't. So we've got no link here, 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 or here. We do have one here, so Eric's worked, and I tried it earlier, so I'm just going to load that up. Robert's working on his right now. He just told me. And then I had this one from Nathan as well, but it didn't work. I think that maybe it wasn't uploaded properly. So I can see it's got the username itch.io / and then usually that's the game name. So if I delete out the game name, we go to the user page and there isn't anything uploaded on the user page. So I think something went wrong there. So Nathan, if you're watching this at some point, then you gotta fix that before we can call that complete. I know that it was a little confusing how we were setting this up, but I want to point out that right now everybody who promised something didn't give me something. That's not a very professional way to act, and it's not a very good start to the class. So we want to make sure to be realistic about what you're going to turn in, when you're going to turn it in, and to get it in on time, because otherwise you're not being very disciplined in your own self-practice, and that's not a good sign. Okay, So I want to make sure that everybody understands that this column over here is awfully full. There's a lot of stuff that people are saying is due next week. You might want to reconsider that and scoot it back a week so that the sheet starts looking a little bit more spare, because right now a lot of people are promising a lot of things and I'm not seeing them. Okay, so let's look at the one that we do have. Eric turned his in. I don't see him in chat right now, but good job, Eric. On Canvas, by the way, it shows me that I have one, actually it showed me on the home page, that I have one thing to grade here. That's going to be Eric's project that he turned in. If I just click on that. But that means that the rest of you guys should have feedback that is required for this. So if you are in the call, go ahead and go to the project schedule and just click on that link there to play this game so that we can give him feedback appropriate for his game and you guys get points for that. Okay. So when I ran this, it says just his first time making a project and arrow keys to move, space to jump, and it looks like just a running version of the micro game Unity tutorial. Collect things, jump on these guys' heads, and we can die by falling off, and it resets us to the start. And I think we can also die by hitting the side of one of the gels. This guy's gonna be hard to hit. Okay, let's do this one. There we go. So yeah, all that seemed to work properly. So we're going to make sure to give him feedback, and I'll give him his points for that submission. And I got to read through all of this to make sure that it lines up with what he intended to do. Okay. Any questions about that? That's how basically it's going to go every time, unless you're here to talk about it, in which case we'll have a conversation with you about what you were trying to do, what went well, what didn't go so well. Otherwise, we'll do it through the feedback. Okay. Let's just see real quick. He's got the game link, gave it a name. Goal was to redecorate and mod a platformer world to a candy and sweets environment in the level. You know, I didn't even notice that the assets were different, but I did see that. Like the chocolate man trying to get to his home while avoiding the red sour candies and pits. I didn't put in much effort towards my goal because I could decorate the map or made more level, more simple. Then my arrogant, slow thinking. Jeez, okay, do not neg yourself, guys. Don't talk yourself down. Just be honest, right? If it didn't go well and say, I overreached, I tried to do too much, that's fine. But don't be mean to yourself. That's a bad habit to get into. I also had struggle of changing the color of the tree sprite until I figured out with the Unity Learn. Well, good. I'm glad that you overcame a problem like that. The only thing I noticed aesthetically is that the chocolate man, I didn't know why he was brown, but chocolate man and the chocolate building in the background looked like the same color, and it made it a little hard for me to see the guy when he spawns. But a simple, making the background a little bit lighter and maybe bluer to reflect the sky, or picking a slightly different color of chocolate would make it pop immediately. And then the last one, I might think about how to make the level fair for everyone. I will probably make the environment more fitting to the game background. So this is what you could do different next time. Okay. So yeah, all of that stuff makes sense. I noticed the changes. Let's look at it one more time with that in mind. Now that I know that he was theming it, I'm actually gonna, I think, mute the tab. Let's see, because I don't want the music playing in the background there. Yeah, so we got big lollipop tree here, gummy bear over here. The colors have been changed on the character and on the buildings in the background. These guys, I think they were gels in like the tutorial, but they do kind of look like, Sour Patches or whatever. So that works for me. Yeah, there's some other stuff that could be changed, like the clouds, the fencing, the foliage in the background. That stuff could be themed to your candy theme if you wanted to. And it would make it feel like a lot more cohesive, especially even the pickups, which are right now like floating diamonds, could be some sort of floating candy like peppermints or what have you, and that would make a lot of sense. There's like a planet up there. Oh look, there's a cookie. Since it seems that the focus was on art and not on gameplay, I wouldn't worry about making the level work a certain way or the layout of the level necessarily. If you're focused on art, then focus on art and just don't worry about the rest. You can make that a second project, like a follow-up project. I'm actually getting pretty far in this despite that, though.
Does that mean he did do the level design?
I guess so. I'm not really sure. He was saying like maybe he would change it. I guess that implies that he did it. Look at the chocolate Easter Island head. It's kind of funny. But I guess not necessarily. He didn't explicitly say that, so he could just be talking about altering the level setup.
Yeah, hard to tell.
Yeah. I haven't gone through the entire tutorial, so I don't know what the level design was like. There he is. It's the man himself. We found him. Very good. All right. Cool. All right. So for the rest of you guys here, do you have any questions about what's going on? Do you have any updates as to what you are working on? Let's go down the list real quick of people who are in the call. Alan, hello.
Hey,
How you doing?
so I'm working with Isaac.
Mm-hmm.
He can't be here right now because he's at work. But yeah, I think our progress is pretty good right now. We're on schedule to like have a playable version of our prototype on Monday.
Okay.
But uh, in case something doesn't work or something, then it'll probably be on Friday.
If you got it
But
on Monday, then you got a whole week to change anything that isn't working. So I would strongly recommend turning it in on Monday because then you could just resubmit by Friday.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. Um, so yeah, we just have a basic prototype that's just going to be like focused on gameplay. There's not really too
Mm-hmm.
much aesthetic to it.
Cool.
Uh, and maybe in a future iteration, we'll probably do stuff like add audio and things like that, just to make it a little bit more pleasing to experience.
Awesome. Yeah, and I
Yeah.
would say whenever it's a prototype just for gameplay and layout, don't even try to do art assets because they're actually distracting if they're badly implemented. I always see something that game designers and programmers do is like stick a whole bunch of like default art in, and it's really distracting compared to just like capsules and boxes, which are very pure and very easy to ignore. And so that's what I would recommend.
Okay. Yeah.
Cool. All right. Thank you. Austin, hello. Are you able to talk on the mic with us? And if not, you can type. I don't know how to push to talk on the phone. Actually, I don't either. But
There's a button.
there's a
Uh,
button.
yeah, if you open up the Discord voice chat, there'll be a button on your screen that just says push to talk on it.
Oh, geez, really? Oh,
Mm-hmm.
give it a try. See if you can figure that out. If not, we could just type. It looks like you only have something due in 2 weeks' time, not even next week. So we're not expecting anything from you, but I just kind of want to know an update. Oh, cheers, too. Waiting for him in chat there since he's off screen. Put my deadline a little far apart because if work constraints, I only get 1 day off to work, really. Okay. It's fine. If you end up being able to turn it in sooner, move the deadline up. If not, then stick to what you proposed. That makes sense to me. As long as it's all going well. All right, so Robert, I see yours.
I upload.
Yep, and I clicked on it. Cool. So is this a substance tutorial?
Yep, all of it was done in Designer.
Cool. I think I might have done this one with like roots and rocks and dead
Yeah,
grass and
a little
stuff.
getting started one.
Yeah. What did you think of it? I thought that it was an absurd amount of time to spend on like dirt.
It is a lot of time to spend to make that, but seeing as how easy it is to just reuse this for the rest of your life, I think it's worth it in the long run.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, there was a whole lot of stuff. I see that you got the mud versus dry dirt thing. I gave up before that point and went on to a different one, to be
Oh
honest.
no.
Well, it's like, it wasn't like it was hard. I was just bored. I wanted to do something
Yeah.
different. But yeah, it did cover a lot of the basics, like the great concepts of like making the root shapes and getting the leaf shapes and variation in the rocks and all that good stuff. And it looks like it's worked out just fine. Yeah. Cool.
I have the plain version of it in Discord on the critique channel.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Let's see that.
That one looks cooler.
Oh, I see.
The sphere doesn't look as good.
I think it's because in one thing I noticed in Substance is that they have actual height generated in their preview window, whereas the thing that you export, you have to hook up a height map to actually have that represented.
No, I have the height map hooked up to it.
In this one?
Well, the FBX for this one, it actually just used the height map as a displacement map, so it actually just changed the sphere to kind of mold it.
And that's what it does. That is what the height map is supposed to do. But theirs is like very detailed in their window, and I wasn't able to get that kind of detail anywhere else. You'd have to have a huge amount of subdivisions in the object in order to support that.
Yeah, I think it's only the plane that has that much resolution on it.
Yeah, the one in Substance for sure.
Yeah.
If you made like a 1,000,000 polygon plane with a displacement map, I think it would work the same way, kinda. But yeah, just don't expect it to be this high fidelity when you take it out of Substance, unless you're going for like a really awesome height map. That was the only disappointment I found with Substance, is that this was a little misleading in that it looks so cool within the program, and then the material that you export is a lot more flattened. Cool. So you learned a whole lot about that process then?
Yeah, it was fun.
Cool.
Can't wait to do it again.
Any idea what you're going to do next?
I'm doing a little like ancient Greek style well.
Cool.
And then that one's going to be next week. It's going to just be the modeling and UVs for it, and then the week after that's going to be throwing it back into Designer and doing a trim sheet for it.
Nice. There was it was like a stone mandala kind of pattern, like a flower pattern. There was a tutorial I followed on YouTube. I'm looking for if I have what I did like saved somewhere. I do have the Substance files, but I don't have like a render of what I did. But it ended up being really, really cool in the end. So I'd recommend searching for that if you want something to do tutorial wise. It's like a stone mandala, I think is what they called it, or something. But awesome.
I don't even know what that is.
A mandala is like it's like a Buddhist pattern in sand that they do. I don't know why they called it that, but flower would have sufficed.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Just a bunch of dots.
No, it was like flowers. It actually looked like leaves, but like carved out of stone. Oh. It's a little hard to describe in the abstract. Cool. Well, thank you for that. Glad that worked out. Let us know how it goes. It looks like you got one coming up next week. You're just going to do one more tutorial and then see how it goes.
No, next week is the modeling of the well, and then probably the week after that is going to be the trim sheet, and then I'll see what I feel like doing after that.
Okay. Try to plan that one out then. Like put another submission here, and then if you don't know what to do yet, just think about it. Once you think you figured it out, start to plan for it. Okay. Gary, Doofy Gary, how you doing? Calling Doofy Gary. Come in, Doofy Gary. I believe that's right here. No microphone, no typing. Not
I see
seeing.
him typing.
What's up? What's up, Miguel?
Yeah, I saw him typing. He sent something right now.
Oh, he did? Where did it go?
It's having trouble with push to talk.
Oh shit, I was in the wrong channel. How do you do push to talk again? I think it's pinned how you do it, but you go to the little gear next to your name at the bottom, and then you set the push to talk button so that you can hold it down. Everybody try to figure that out in advance so we don't have to go over it over and over. That's okay. I see that you don't have something due this week, so it's fine. I just want to know about progress. While he's doing that, I'll show you guys something I'm doing. I found this is a sort of common painting exercise people do. You take a 3D simple object and texture it in different ways. So I rendered myself out a little simple three-dimensional shape that I'll do that to. I'll paint over the top of this and try to make it look like different materials. That's what I'm doing for my own little self-study.
Are you also going to make it look like cheese?
Maybe. It is a fun one. Let's see. Gary says, I was doing a prototype for a game, but I gave up, and I will instead do 2D art for a tutorial. You just plain old gave up? We can help you. We can give you advice. That's what this class is kind of all about. We don't want to see you just abandon something entirely. It's okay if you're having trouble. I forgot how to program. Mostly, programming is just about using the autocomplete and looking things up in the Unity the Unity scripting reference. Is that not what you want to do right now? Okay. Well, I mean, dusting off the cobwebs is something that has to happen. I wouldn't just immediately give up on something. I'd try to find people to help you because we do have a number of programmers in the class. And also, I'm a good enough programmer that I can make most functional things. I just start to suffer at the more senior levels of programming where you're, planning out architecture and stuff like that. Okay. But yeah, just get active in the Discord, ask in the discussion forum, maybe on Canvas, and I'm sure somebody is going to be able to help you. If not them, then I will. Okay? Whatever it is you're struggling with, show it to me, and I'm sure I can point you in the right direction. No problem. And there's also the learning pathway for programmer, the junior programming pathway on Unity Learn, which would be a really great way to get very solid in just a couple of weeks. All right. Garrett, how are you doing? I see you're unmuted, but you might still have to push to talk.
Yeah, there we go. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, sorry. So I have just basically set up the Photoshop file for the 2D art I'm going to do first.
Mhm.
And I've done like a quick couple of sketches for like what I want to do on there, like pouches or like a jacket.
Okay.
But besides that, nothing major yet.
Okay.
Just wanted to give that bit of progress at least.
What is the project going to be in the end?
It's going to be a character.
Okay.
I haven't decided if it's like fantasy or whatnot yet, but I'm just like doing sketches right now just to see like what would kind of fit.
Let me ask you, are you particularly strong in like design as far as like making up the details, coming up with the overall design? Because you don't have to make something 100% original every time. A very common thing that you'll see is that someone will look for concept art from another artist, credit them, and make that three-dimensional. And it's a great way to not have to do all the jobs at once.
Yeah, I can do something like that.
Well, if you want to do your own design and you feel strong at it, go for it. But if you don't and you just need something to model, then I would strongly recommend looking up other artists' reference. It's a pretty common practice to just credit them, say, here's the original concept and here's what I made out of it.
Okay, I'll give that some thought.
Have you been on ArtStation very much or used it?
Yeah, I've used it a little bit before,
Okay.
just for like some inspiration, just like dug around.
That's where you see it all the time, is that concept artists actually kind of love it when you make something out of their concept because that's the real step that they often don't get to see. And so many of these things here might be the collaboration between 2 or 3 different artists, and you wouldn't know it until you read the submission. Like this, for instance, I could say is almost certainly based off of someone's concept. Let's see. Yeah, so here's the original concept artist. There we go. And then here's the 3D model that they made off of it, and they just credit them. There we go. Really good example of it. So yeah, I would definitely check that out. Usually people are pretty excited when they get to see their stuff made real. What did you post up, Robert?
I just posted a link to my Pinterest with a bunch of concept stuff in
Oh
there.
yeah. Oh, and this is what you're gonna model? The Greek thing over here?
Yes.
Oh, that's really cool. I actually love this guy, floating head skeleton mage. That's more my style. Yeah, there's some really good stuff here. Cool.
These are just concepts you've collected, Robert.
Yep.
Very good. And they usually point back to the original source, don't they? That's how Pinterest works.
Yeah, they're usually pretty easy to find who made it originally.
Yeah. Cool. All right. All right. So keep that in mind, Garrett. If you want to do your own concept, go for it. I think that's a fun thing to do. But if you don't and you just want to make some stuff, people love that sort of stuff. Just credit them.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind.
Cool. Juan, hello.
Hello.
How are you doing?
Good, are you?
Very good. What are you working on? I see we have something due next
Y-
week for you.
Can you hear me well?
Yes.
So it's not like last time, right?
Nope. You sound great.
Right. Well, I'm doing a stylized apartment building.
Okay. And how's it going?
I'm almost done. I just did a few more pieces.
Mm-hmm.
I'm debating whether or not like to turn in like a texture the end product for my next assignment.
So if you're almost done right now, what do you have left to do?
UV and texture it.
Okay. That's enough work that it could take you the rest of the week. But what are you debating?
If it should be if texturing it should be like a different assignment, because I kind of want to like practice more on doing textures.
I'm not sure if you need it to be a different assignment because you've got an entire week until your due date. And if you're already done with the modeling step, then you've got quite a long time to do those textures. Do you think you need longer than that?
Mm, I think this has to be turned in by Monday, or can it be
No, it can be by
by
Friday.
Friday.
Yeah, Friday's fine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I,
probably finish it.
I would recommend for all of you guys, though, if you have something on Monday, turn it in even provisionally and say, I'm going to update this by Friday, because a little bit of early feedback gives you a lot of chance to change and revise stuff before we can see that problems exist, you know? So if you first turn it in on Friday, then maybe that's the last chance you get and you don't want to work it on it anymore. So that's just kind of what I would recommend. But yeah, you can do it either way. Cool. All right. Well, if you need any help or advice, then let us know. There are a lot of 3D modelers in the course, so lots of people can give advice for that.
Can you take a look of my assignments so far?
Sure. Where is it?
Could it be like in the end of should I let everyone finish first?
No, that's what we're here for, is to look at people's stuff.
All right.
Are you going to post it up somewhere or share screen?
Share screen.
Okay. All right. Take a look at that. Cool. Can you turn wireframe on shaded on? Awesome. And can you zoom in real close to like the door frame?
I still need to finish
The door itself?
yeah.
Okay. Can you look at the top? So those cuts, those diagonal cuts, those are only in there because you're cutting open a hole in the wall, right? They don't attach to the pediment itself, do they? I was talking about the front door. So you see like those diagonal fanning lines that are coming towards the archway? That's only because the wall has a hole cut in it, right? So if you select the arch, yeah, that part. So see those lines going up to the corners? Yeah, I can see it. No, this is completely fine. I just wanted to make sure that you weren't trying to tie too much geometry together, and it looks reasonable to me. Cool. Okay, go ahead and show some other parts of the building. Yeah, I mean, this all looks real decent to me. And you're in a good position if you wanted to duplicate a lot of those little sections to use the same kind of texture over and over, similar to what the trim sheets idea is in the two tutorial links that I posted. This would be a really good candidate for it because you've got a lot of the same kinds of materials. Cool. You may also have to push to talk to continue talking to us because we can't hear you since you're outside of Discord. But yeah, this all looks good to me.
Yeah. I just need to finish the rooftops.
Okay.
I was barely in the process of doing them today.
You know, you don't have to do the rooftops if the point was just to make the facade of the building. It doesn't have to look like a complete solid building if what you're doing is showing off your texturing and modeling ability. So if you've got the part that's important to you, I'd say just leave the rest off as if it's like a Hollywood flat film set and just texture it real nice and light it.
Okay.
But if you want to do the rooftops, by all means. Okay?
I have a question.
Yeah.
When we turn into Sketchfab,
Mm-hmm.
if it's modular, do we need to make it into like a group or
Uh,
import it into?
you need to just make your entire scene into an FBX file.
Oh.
And so if it's modular, just duplicate it as many times as you needed to make your scene look complete. But the way that a modular scene works is that you've only really modeled and unwrapped one thing and then duplicated it as many times around the scene as you needed. See what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay. Does that answer your question?
Yes.
Okay. And I would recommend trying to upload it to Sketchfab before it's completely done, just so that you see what the tool is like, because it's pretty cool. You've got access to some camera post-processing as well as lighting within Sketchfab, and the materials can be tuned as well. Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right, let's see. So, Miguel, what are you working on?
Hey, I think me and Garrett are doing a pretty similar thing, actually. So,
Yeah.
I want to run a character basically all the way through the pipeline till I have it in Unity functioning.
Awesome. Functioning as in rendering or functioning as in animating?
Animating.
Ooh, okay. Have you rigged before?
No, I'm taking the class. That's why that's the end goal, right?
Oh, shit. Okay, well then that is all well and good, but you got to wait until you've done it at least once in the class to make it
You
a
can
goal.
use Mixamo if you just want to test your topology flow of the character to see if it rigs well.
Oh, yeah, I have done that.
Okay. But you want to make like a full character rig yourself.
Yeah.
Okay, then making the model and getting it ready to rig is fine. But at that point, you've almost got to abandon it until we've gone through that in the class. You could use it as your classwork at that point, but then you got 2 grades writing on it instead of 1, and I'm not sure if I would recommend that.
That's a good point.
Yeah. So I'd say go through the modeling and texturing process, and then stop, and then do something else for a while. If you want to get fully animated some things in there, you'll be able to do that within a few weeks, because we're gonna go through the 2D rigging process first, and then we'll get simple objects that we can put through that pipeline.
Yeah, I'm willing to say flexible.
Cool. Okay.
So yeah, I just had Robert show me some stuff on ZBrush today.
Nice. So your goal then, not next week but week after, is to have a character model.
Wait, isn't that next week?
Oh, I'm sorry. This is the current week. That is next week. Yes.
Yeah, my first goal is just to be acquainted with ZBrush, so I want to have a first like sculpt.
Oh, okay. So like some kind of test sculpture.
Yeah.
All right. And the whole goal is just get acquainted. So try to use the features, try to be comfortable, try to get a rough approximation of symmetry and precision, that sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, cool. Do you have an idea for what the object is, or is it in a tutorial?
I'm gonna find something. I still gotta find something.
Okay. I'm not sure what would be a good idea for ZBrush in particular, but I always just did like some organic kind of character for the first thing, because it gives you a pretty flexible goal. So like a piggy bank in the shape of some animal, or a clay sculpture of some sort of thing that looks a little primitive, or you know a totem character that's like carved out of wood. Those are easy things that it's hard to mess up, because if they look a little bit wobbly or inconsistent, then it just kind of gives it more character.
Okay, that's a good idea.
A
Robert was trying to
bust.
throw me in the deep end. Say I should just take a stylized character.
You can. I would say style is going to be the next goal, probably. First, it's just function at all, and then
Oh,
Figure
right.
go home.
I think the emphasis is just something that's not super anatomically intensive.
yeah, and that makes sense. Yeah. Okay.
So I might do that if I find something I like.
Yeah, toys, sculptures, fine art busts, anything like that is probably a good one to go with, especially if it looks rustic. Then that makes it a lot easier.
Cool, sounds good to me.
All right, and then finally, Nate, do we have progress from you? Oh wait, Nate, you're here. Your link didn't work. See, 404 not found. Are you here? I see your face. I don't hear your voice, because you are muted. Yeah, so the link you posted is either not the right one, or it didn't upload entirely, because when I delete this to just look at your profile, there's nothing listed right now. So it's possible you didn't publish it, or that it didn't entirely upload correctly. Did I put my thing on my own? Let me see. Oh, I did. Here's the one I did, just while we're waiting for him. This is my test one. So a student of mine made this barrel and textured it, and provided me some props, and then I made it function as an explosive barrel. And then you can hit reset and do it all again. Whee! There you go.
I like the wiggle on the arrow. It's very cartoony.
I'll paste it in chat if you guys want to make the barrel explode. Yeah, he was kind of interested in particles, so he wanted to figure out how to do all these different particle effects as well. Fire, sparks, smoke, that sort of stuff. Yep. There you go. Nate, any idea? Nate, you still with us? Because I don't really want what's the push to talk button? You actually have to set one. You have to go into the settings, the gear, user settings right by your name at the bottom, and then go to the key bindings and set yourself a push to talk button. And you also have to unmute yourself because they always mute everyone. So you're unmuted.
Hello?
There you are. Hello.
Oh, hey, so I can't find the link, and I have no clue.
You don't know how to happen. You got your login information for
I
itch?
mean, like, I have the link right here. Let me post it on Discord.
Uh-huh. Is it the same one?
I mean, yes, you can't play it. You have to download the Unity package.
It doesn't give me any option when I click it.
Oh.
What might have happened is when you were uploading it, like, let me see. How do I view my own stuff?
And
My library?
I'm trying to make another one, but like it keeps saying I have that URL already.
Yeah. It maybe just wasn't published. Upload projects.
Let me try again.
How do you see your own stuff? Okay, there we go. So there's an option when you upload for like what kind of project, and if you set it to downloadable, it'll force us to download. But if you set it to HTML, then you can upload something that plays in the browser, and they specify down here in the upload section once you change that to what they need: a zip file with an index.html, a zip, and a data folder usually. But it's everything that gets exported from Unity when you publish a WebGL project. And it's all in the tutorial on Canvas as well. So in our first module, the information right here, publishing your projects, this goes over all the steps to publish WebGL and then how to upload it to itch and what they expect to find. They want to find this: index.html, build, and template data inside the zip. Okay.
All right. Can you give me like a 10 minutes maybe?
I
could
will
probably try to
give
fix
you
it.
a weekend because we don't want to wait for that to happen right now. But I just wanted to check in with you and make sure that you were aware of that. We'll just say that we'll scoot yours back until Monday, and we'll check on it then. Okay.
I mean, I can share my screen if you want to see how the game is.
But we
If you want.
gotta give it a grade. Everybody else has to access it. Like, we can look at
Oh,
that
okay.
right now, but as far as like turning it in, I think we should just scoot it back to next week.
All right.
But do you want to share screen and show us all?
Yeah, sure, why not?
Okay, go for it. Are you gonna share screen?
Yeah. I'm sorry, I'm just opening up Unity right now.
Okay. Anonymous quagga? What is a quagga? Quagga?
Oh, there it is. I got it.
Okay.
So what I got right now is just like a foundation of a Flappy Birds,
Okay.
but it's just it's just underwater fishes.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So I just got it all up. See, the problem is like the screen goes black for some reason every time it resets.
Really?
But like it's light up right now, and I
Yeah.
can just play and the rocks are coming.
But if you die, it goes dark.
And if I die, like, see, now the screen just gets all black.
Huh. I wonder
So,
if some object is getting destroyed. Are you reloading the scene?
yeah, just the scene itself. Every time it hits.
Can you pause without stopping the gameplay and look at the hierarchy and see if anything disappears? So like just die and then hit pause rather than stop, and then look in the scene hierarchy. See how it drops down? There's a little drop down arrow in sample scene at the top.
Oh, right.
Yeah, right there. So is anything missing?
No, this should be all be it.
Main camera, directional light, backfish, ground, rock, and cube clone. It's pretty weird. I don't know why it's
Yeah. That's like the only problem I have right now. And I mean, I still don't have a script for a score count, but I'm probably going to try to add that in next week.
Sure.
But yeah, that's all I got so far.
Yeah. Okay. It's a decent first attempt. I think it's an odd kind of error that's happening there. I bet you there's a way to figure out what's going on. I'm trying to think what the possibilities are, though. Because it all functions still, it just goes dark. Huh. Interesting. Yeah, not entirely sure. Glad it all functions, though.
Yeah, I mean, I could try to remake just to see if there's something wrong with this. Like,
Well, bug fixing is a lot of what game development is. I mean, there's always something that's going to go wrong somewhere, and then figuring out, tracking down what went wrong, being able to fix it is a huge asset for anyone who is working in game development at all. So I'd recommend, rather than just starting over, try to figure it out. Try to figure out what is actually happening, because that can be a really great learning experience. Some of the ways that you can do that is by putting comments in your script to see what's firing and what isn't. Sometimes you can pause it at different moments to check out the hierarchy and see what still exists. You can ask online for similar problems other people have, like when my scene is destroyed and reloaded, everything is dark. That is probably something someone else has encountered before, and there may be a hint there. Cool. All right. Awesome.
yeah, that's all I got. Just the foundation, basically.
All right. Then I look forward to seeing it next week. Okay, everybody. Do we have any last minute questions or things that you would like me to talk about? Otherwise, we are done.
I'm good.
Cool. All right, you guys. Then I think that's it. You have a good weekend. I will see you on Monday for another discussion. And if you have any problems, post them up either in the discussion forum on Canvas or ask in Discord, and we'll help you.
All right. Talk to y'all later.
Bye bye,
See ya.
everybody.